I was busy all day, just got home, saw a pair of high heels at the door. I rushed to the bedroom door and heard my fiancé talking to another woman. He said at tomorrow's wedding, he'd give me 3 gifts. He opened a box, took out a microphone, and a book of traditional female virtues. He planned to make me kneel and read it out loud in front of everyone. Then he pulled out a razor, said he'd shave off my most cherished hair, and finally have me sign a villa transfer agreement to give it to that scheming woman in front of him. He was so confident, because years ago, he pretended to be my lifesaver and tricked me to repay that fake kindness. I've been tolerating him all these years. Now, hearing his confession at the door, I finally realized I'd been deceived for so long, so I decided to return him 3 gifts of my own. I drove to a construction site, planning to find any cement worker to embarrass him at the wedding, but I unexpectedly saw a tall guy over 6 feet with broad shoulders and a narrow waist. He looked amazing and had a decent personality. I instantly decided he was the one, so I got out of the car and walked over. The moment he took off his sunglasses, he froze, because he recognized me. I was the person he saved 3 years ago. While I was wondering how he knew me, he asked me first why I came looking for him. I smiled and asked how much for a handsome guy per day, but I didn't know he was actually a rich heir, with assets worth hundreds of millions. Coincidentally, that day, his grandpa was urging him to get married, so he said he didn't want money, just wanted me to go home with him in 3 days to deal with his family's pressure. I agreed without hesitation, and we made a deal. The next day, I arrived at the wedding in a black dress. Everyone was confused why the bride wore black. My mother-in-law grabbed my arm and questioned my intentions. I calmly said I wore black, to highlight how handsome my fiancé is. But my fiancé got angry, and proudly said, he's rich and good-looking, doesn't need me to highlight anything. So I slapped him across the face, and coldly said, I prepared 3 surprises for him too. He laughed arrogantly, said he also had 3 big gifts, and had someone bring them out. Told me to read the female virtues out loud, but I already had a plan, said a few casual lines, and easily dismissed his first gift. Then he took out the razor, wanted to shave my head. I asked him if husband and wife are one. Let's shave together. Then I raised the razor toward him. He panicked and quickly pulled out the 3rd gift, trying to force me to sign the transfer agreement I took. It tore it up on the spot and coldly said, the wedding is off, and my surprise is just about to arrive. Then I picked up the phone and called the rich heir. He deliberately said on the line, my surprise is coming soon. But the real surprise was that the scheming woman was lying in another man's arms, about to be taken to a hotel. Fiancé didn't believe it at first. He thought, if I really betrayed him, I wouldn't have shown up at the wedding. I smiled coldly and told him, my first gift was calling off the wedding. Then I handed over an IOU, asking him to return all the money I spent over the years, but he refused, saying he was my lifesaver. I sneered and called in the doctor who treated me back then. I asked the doctor, was he my lifesaver? The doctor immediately said no, and showed the payment record as proof. My fiancé was exposed, but still arrogant, insisting I marry him. I looked at him coldly. He refused to give up and asked, it's almost noon, what's my first gift? But before he could finish, the rich heir walked in carrying a